with another session of the Here For It Live, and my guest is Jennifer Peters. She is a member of Palette, and I haven't got a chance to really get to know you, but I was really excited because not really excited, but I just so happened to be at Palette a couple weeks ago when you were doing one of your workshops, and it gave me goosebumps, like being in the presence of this transformation that was happening with this group of women. And so I would just love for you to introduce yourself and tell us more about you and what exactly it is you do.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm Jen Peters. I life coach Jen, and I workshop, and it's so amazing. So, as a life, you look at where you're at and where you help you get there. But one of the looking at obstacles, what's holding you back, really diving deep, because if there's some fire in life and you're not experiencing it, it is holding you back. And so looking into what and helping you, step into freedom and step needed for, and that's the premise of it. And at that particular one, there is just an emotional stronghold for such a long time, and able to step into being at a place where there's hope, and just knowing that with a purpose, and that she could step into it, and she could break free if there's strong, such a powerful moment. And I'm just so appreciative of the space to hold those workshops, but for you who was there, and I'm just so glad that you kind of that as well.
Yeah, talk a bit more about like your journey and how you started to how did you get started doing this work? Because I think that it's so impactful, and I think like you're such a strong believer in it, and I think that a lot of times there are skeptics about bringing on a coach or bringing on a life coach to help you with to get unblocked or unstuck. And there is really a sense of vulnerability necessary to put yourself out there, ask for help, and then have someone come into your life and help you move forward with whatever it is you're being challenged with. And the workshops that you're doing, it's a group setting, so I'm sure I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you do one-on-one coaching too, but there's something about being in a room with other women that are hearing you and listening to you, and then pulling from their own experiences to help you move forward. It's just so powerful. And it's one of those things that I think anyone that's wondering about what it's about and what the process is, like, can you kind of speak to that and how you got started, and like how is it that you've gotten to this place where you're just such a believer?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a believer in it because it has changed my life. Right. So once you experience it, real, and it's so empowering, and you just want to experience it as well. I actually became a life coach on copywriting. I was previously a copywriter. My clients I was a remote writer, personally no clients, but I had say to me, you should be a life coach into our lives. You're more than just a writer. You speak into our life. It kind of feel silly admitting it, but I had to Google what is a but in doing so, it introduced me to, and then it introduced me to being, and like I said, it just absolutely changed my life with other people, and I have just hit the ground running single minute of it. And while I do one-on-one coaching, most of my coaching is one-on-one shops, and they are group workshops, but I intentionally like 4 to 8 people, so deep with each person. We can and vulnerable, because it is such a, and sometimes the women know each other and sometimes they don't totally know me, and sometimes they don't, but just it's a judgment free place where we can explore, find a solution a way towards, like I said, it's my foundation stuck. And if we can just get you moving, just immediately, you're no longer stuck. And you're at a place mentally where you can, think of solutions in a way that you were literally just stuck. So the first things that I tell people getting unstuck, but I also, I have soon I have a living courageously action even when you're scared. I help people and just all kinds of workshops, and I'm stuck is by far my favorite. The reason, like you said, I'm such a believer is because I've seen it work in my own life, but I've seen it change many of my clients' lives, like in huge ways. I've seen it change lives, but some of them, it's amazing transformation of their life that once you experience that, you just want to shine. And the reality is, we're not created to live alone, right? We're not created to live alone, and we're stronger when we are apart. We can't do it all alone. Value in life coaching as is just huge, because often coaching, see where you are and where you want to be in self, right? It's a DIY world here. That may be true, but my questions, and one is, if you could, then why haven't you? Or if you did do it yourself, would you, most efficient and quickly? When you have a life coach, whether it's me or anybody else, life coaches out there, or of your community, we're trained to help you get and to get there, and not it be a journey of struggles about the end outcome. It's not a general life coach. So I coach on all life spheres that I can help you with. But let's lose 50 pounds. Well, it's not about scale. It's not just about losing it's about who you become along that jar when you have accomplished your goal. Yourself at the end, not just the same pounds, but now you're a person who feels confident, and you're strong, and you can do anything. Is who you become along the. Like I said, there's so much value, coach, as part of your community. Just changes the game. It changes everything.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in my own experience, I feel like I've done a lot of like doing it on my own, and it's like, oh, white knuckling it. And you're like, oh no, I'm going to show them I can do this. I can do whatever I want to do. And going at it by yourself. And then it's like, it's just no fun that way. And then there's also this piece that, like, if you don't accomplish, it's like almost like it's like a safety net, right? That when you're doing it by yourself, there's like this safety net where it's like, okay, well, if I don't accomplish the goal that I set out to do, no one will know that I failed. And so I think when you really start to share with others what you really want, and be honest with yourself, and address all the the blocks that you have, that you maybe you're not even aware of them. But I think it's really powerful to say, like, okay, what if everything actually works out? And what if I am able to accomplish all the things that I want to accomplish? What then? And I think sometimes it's fear of what's next. If you're not struggling, and that's what your whole life that's what your whole life experience has been, what do you do, right? Like, I mean, I feel like I've met people like that, where it's like they just live in the struggle, and it's all they know, and so they don't even know what will happen when they don't have that pull. And so I don't know, it's so wild to think about the growth that I have had just by bringing people along for the journey and bringing people along for the ride and just being really honest about like, yeah, I mean, for the really simple example, like, I mean, I feel like I talk about palette all the time, but in 2015, I was feeling very miserable with myself. I had like a 1-year-old. I was stressed. I wasn't feeling like, I guess, just I was not feeling hopeful about the future. And I just kind of felt like I was looking at the rest of my life and thinking, okay, is this it? This is what it's going to be like. And I wanted to lose some weight. And so somebody mentioned to me that I should start running. And I'm a very extreme person. So I didn't just start running like a 5K. I signed up for the New York City Marathon. And I did this on April 1st. I signed up. And of course, I didn't qualify to run a marathon. I had to raise money in order to have an entry in it. And I started like posting on Facebook every time that I went for a run. I would post the link for people to donate, and it's like, I got to raise this money or I'm not going to get to run in this race. And it was really so cool to see the support that I was, that I received by asking for people to kind of come along on this journey. Now, I think a lot of people were like, there's no way in hell she's going to cross that finish line, I sometimes didn't believe that I was actually going to do it. But I really, the testament to like me being able to do it was because people had given me their money, people had supported me. And so I had to go for it and make it happen. And I did finish it. And it was the most like amazing feeling. And then, then I was addicted to that feeling. And it's like, now we gotta set the next goal and set the next goal. And so ever since then, I've really enjoyed it being putting myself out there, sharing what it is I'm working on and then attaining the goals.
Yeah. So it's fun, right? And achieving fun. And the more you achieve, the more you want it. And the more you become capable. Things that I coach on is kind of a path to discover. Once you make a commitment, responsibility on yourself to learn, to do whatever it takes to you take that responsibility on of more and more things, it just opens up so many possibilities. Become, so much more becomes possible than before. But it all does begin with, like you said, you did what it took to get money so that you could qualify, so that you could run the marathon. You took that responsibility on yourself. And a lot of the fear of failure, as well as the fear of success, look at things that hold us back. Often it's the fear. And when we're kind of stuck in feeling and we're afraid of other people knowing, that is when we try to do it by ourselves. And sometimes we cause the failure to could have succeeded if we would have just reached out for some. We're often, kind of trained to try to be strong and not to need anyone, independent women, or to not show our emotional weakness. And that's just such a lie, right? Emotion, asking for help is it's believing in yourself enough that you're going to get that you need to accomplish your goal. There's also that fear of success sometimes, like, do this, then what's next? And I know for me, and it was an issue of, I didn't know how to, right? I really didn't know how to dream. I was living my life, which was a great life. But I didn't know that there could be more. And that's what life coaching taught me, that me being coached taught me and how to dream big, and then how to go out there, chase those dreams and get them, grab hold of them and start living my dream and living my dream. And I love it. With their dreams as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're so just like there's like this aura about you that's just like calm and kind. And so I think it's like almost like sometimes you're the antithesis of a coach, you know? It's just like you're more of just a supporter and an encourager. And there's obviously the accountability factor and the community factor that you're doing this in workshops and group settings. It's huge. And so I don't know. I just implore anyone that is, it really resonates with me that what you're saying, and because I've experienced it, so I think, coming from experience and talking about your own journey is, is helpful. And it's a shame that some people just don't know what they don't know, so I think, can you just share how anybody can get a hold of you or maybe learn more about your process and your, and how they can attend at a workshop?
Absolutely. So I do have a website. It's kind of, but it's mylifecoachjen.com, on Instagram at mylifecoachjen. Anybody wants to get a hold of me. I'm also often at Targa, sometimes in Schenectady, but I do offer, like a freaking call. So in that one call, an hour, or even if you don't choose to coach with me, I will help you. I will give you value. That's one step forward in your goal. In that, even if you don't think you're ready, that one call, make that schedule, that will get you moving.
I love that. I mean, and I think sometimes like some people just build up the anxiety and the stress about making that one call or like just to have a conversation, and I just, I think when I think of those people and how, in a place of, just like hopelessness, they feel like, I can remember doing this when I first took up therapy, I was like, I worked myself up to being so anxious and almost sick to make the phone call just to set the appointment. And so, nothing bad happened after I made that appointment. I can tell you that much. And, there is hope, there is faith. And I just believe that, making that phone call can be life changing. And, for you to not put any pressure and there doesn't have to be any strings attached. It's like, let's just have a conversation and let's see where you're at. And if you don't want to work with me, fine, I'll help you find somebody else, or, just the one step. That's all it takes sometimes. So if anyone would like, if any of this is resonating with anyone here watching, you can reach out to Jen at mylifecoachjen.com, and she's also on Instagram. And we'll also have this video posted on my LinkedIn. You can see it there. But thank you so much for sharing yourself with me and letting me share you with everyone. I just think you're so special, and it's a different kind of energy that you bring to the table, which I think is just really special. So thanks so much for sharing yourself, and hopefully I'll see you around Palette soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I've truly enjoyed it.
Awesome.